Imagine a world where gaming mechanics have seamlessly fused with reality. Professions have evolved, allowing people to switch roles and unlock stronger abilities. Ruins, dungeons, and mysterious realms await exploration, but there is a catch. This world is teeming with deadly monsters that will not hesitate to take you down before you can even think about running today. Slaying these creatures grants experience, valuable materials, and powerful gear to grow stronger. Yet, even the most fearsome monsters pale in comparison to the legendary dragons, rare, enigmatic beings wielding godlike power. These ancient monsters rule the sky while humans explore dangerous realm portals and dark ruins scattered across the world to build their future. Even the most fearsome beasts pale beside legendary dragons, rare, enigmatic beings wielding absolute godlike power across the realm. Now, let us focus on the third school of the Dragon Kingdom. Inside a classroom, a passionate teacher slaps the board, announcing the upcoming Profession Awakening orientation for Junior Year Section 25 with immense energy today. He reminds the students that this event isn't just about their university entrance exams. It will determine their future success. Some students zone out while others listen intently. The teacher explains that theoretically the awakening process is random. However, he urges everyone to believe in themselves because strong willpower might just land them a combative role. This is Lu Fan, a transmigrator from a place called Blue Planet. 3 years have passed since he arrived in this world. And in that time, he's grasped its rules and systems. Professions are divided into 3 main categories. 1. Combative professions, warriors, mages, archers, and more. These battle-hardened individuals explore uncharted realms and hunt loot. Hunt for rare loot, and rake in substantial rewards, making them the most sought-after roles. 2. Reinforcing professions like enchanters and alchemists craft powerful magical items. However, developing these specialized skills requires exceptionally expensive materials, making progress difficult without a wealthy background for students today. 3. Subsistence professions like chefs, herbalists, and miners form the backbone of society, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Lu Fan's aunt, Honku, is one of these essential workers. She runs a humble steamed bun shop, working tirelessly every single day to support his education, driving him to give her a far better life. Suddenly, the teacher's phone rings. He quickly silences it before turning to the class with an excited expression. The awakening platform is ready. The ceremony is about to begin. Cheers erupt across the room as students leap from their seats, rushing towards the platform in a wild frenzy to see their potential futures unfold today. But in the far corner, Lu Fan remains seated. The teacher notices and approaches puzzled. As the top student in the class, Lu Fan should be the most confident. But just as the teacher is about to ask, something unexpected happens. Lu Fan awakens a system out of nowhere. The super treasure map system materializes before his eyes. Confused, he barely has time to process it before bam, the teacher slams the desk, snapping him back to reality. Seeing the concern on his face, Lu Fan quickly reassures him that everything's fine before dashing after his classmates. As he runs, he can't help but smirk. What transmigrator doesn't get a system on their big day? When the students arrive at the awakening platform, they're greeted by the sight of a massive crystal standing at its center, shimmering with mystical energy. Excitement and anxiety ripple through the crowd. The teacher urges them to stay calm, but anticipation is palpable as students declare they will awaken hidden combative professions to become legendary heroes. A powerful figure steps onto the podium, the grandmother, with a commanding presence. He announces the official start of the ceremony before gesturing to a priest who will be overseeing this year's awakening. The moment the priest steps forward, the students are in awe. His sheer aura radiates dominance, making them dream of reaching that power. Lu Fan shares their amazement, but just then, his system activates again. A new skill has been unlocked. I have appraisal. Curious, he immediately tests it on the priest standing before the crowd. A system panel appears before him, displaying all the secret information about the powerful overseer on the awakening stage today. Level 29 Profession, Professional Awakener. Skill, Professional Awakening, net worth 5 million dragon coins. Lu Fan is stunned. 5 million. No matter how hard his aunt worked, even if she sold buns for a lifetime, she'd never come close to that kind of wealth, making him realize the insane earning potential of high-level combat professionals in this world. Still processing the unbelievable 5 million net worth, Lufan shakes his head in absolute disbelief. Before he can dwell on it any further, the headmaster's booming voice suddenly echoes loudly across the entire platform. Silence. The awakening ceremony officially begins now, causing the eager crowd to immediately quiet down in breathless anticipation today. The excitement reaches its peak as the headmaster calls the very first name, John Dow, the undisputed top student of their section. All eyes immediately turn to John Dow as whispers spread through the crowd, everyone wondering if his high base attributes will allow him to successfully awaken as a powerful combative professional on stage. With his exceptionally high stats, the odds are heavily in his favor. The moment the school heartthrob John Dow steps onto the glowing stage, local girls erupt into wild screams and excitement. Standing tall, he approaches the pulsing crystal as the high priest begins chanting ancient incantations to prepare for his official measurement. The awakening crystal pulses with intense energy until whoosh, a roaring fireball erupts from it. John Dow has awakened as a pyromancer, one of the rarest and most powerful combat professions available. The crowd gasps in envy as he smirks, casually conjuring a flame in his hand, while fangirls scream endlessly for dates. Watching the scene unfold, Lufan clenches his fists tightly. If he can awaken a combat profession today, he can finally leave behind his daily struggles and change his life forever. Annoyed by all the noise, the headmaster shouts for order before calling up the next nervous student to continue the testing process smoothly. The official ceremony continues relentlessly, and one by one, anxious students step up to awaken their random professions. But as Lufan observes from the crowd, most kids do not get anything impressive at all, landing ordinary subsistence roles like humble herbalists, basic tailors, and tired miners instead. Reality hits the tearful crowd exceptionally hard as true combat professions prove to be remarkably rare, leaving the vast majority destined for a painfully average life while Lufan quietly awaits his big turn under the bright stadium lights today. The student in front of Lufan mutters that getting a subsistence profession isn't the absolute worst fate today. Pointing out Li Ping, he notes her poor family struggles deeply because awakening as a reinforcing professional requires an impossible fortune in materials to develop, proving a humble subsistence job might actually be far better for poor families. Realizing his own family is broke too, Lufan knows awakening as a reinforcing class would ruin him completely. Suddenly, the headmaster loudly calls his name, drawing every eye in the crowd. Walking forward as girls admire his sharp features, Lufan takes a deep breath and firmly places his hands onto the glowing crystal today. As the priest chants ancient incantations, a surreal vision flashes before Lufan's eyes, revealing a massive red dragon with piercing yellow eyes staring straight into his soul. Simultaneously, the ground begins to tremble violently beneath their feet, sparking sudden panic as golden light erupts from the pulsing crystal to engulf his body completely today. Wild energy surges across the entire platform, sending intense shockwaves through the screaming crowd as a majestic dragon materializes directly out of the blinding light. Teachers and students freeze in absolute disbelief, realizing that such incredible cosmic phenomena only occur when a lucky individual awakens a legendary hidden profession on stage during this ceremony today. A female teacher turns to Teacher Li, congratulating him on producing the very first hidden professional in the entire school's long history. Teacher Li erupts with wild excitement, fully knowing that awakening as a dragon blood warrior or dragon language mage would instantly set his student on the fast path to becoming a legendary powerhouse in this realm. Reflecting on how the Dragon Kingdom hasn't seen a dragon blood warrior in over a decade, everyone realizes this historic moment will change everything. High above the crowded stadium, the massive glowing dragon hovers majestically, filling the sky with a breathtaking spectacle as awestruck spectators gaze upward at the legendary creature hovering in the clouds today. Hovering directly over Lufan, the giant dragon lets out an earth-shaking roar that echoes across the entire city. The terrifying sonic force blasts powerful shockwaves through the air, forcing terrified students to cover their ears in agony before the majestic beast suddenly launches into the sky and vanishes into thin air without a trace left behind. As the chaotic sky finally returns to absolute calm, the headmaster rushes forward, barely able to contain his insane hype. Eagerly asking if he awakened as a legendary dragon blood warrior or powerful dragon language mage, he gets stopped dead in his tracks as Lufan sighs heavily and quietly announces his actual awakened class, Dragon Tamer. A deafening silence falls over the crowd as everyone freezes in shock. Chaos erupts as the headmaster yells in utter disbelief, accompanied by mocking laughter from classmates ridiculing Dragon Tamer as the single most worthless hidden profession in history. Wandering through the old town of Jeonghoi City, Lu Fan inspects his system interface with a heavy sigh. His status reads level 10 Dragon Tamer with a tiny net worth of 200 dragon coins. Inspecting his locked status, Lu Fan stares hopelessly at all those mysterious question marks on his skill panel that he cannot unlock today. Recalling the cruel laughter from the ceremony, he walks silently while surrounding students gossip about his tragic hidden class. Everyone agrees that the Dragon Tamer title is a complete joke, purely because these mythical creatures are the supreme apex monsters of the universe. To ordinary humans, trying to control such absolute power is pure absolute madness today. In 800 years of history, giant dragons remain impossibly rare in this world. Back at school, the headmaster tried consoling Lu Fan by claiming he could still grow stronger by taming lesser sub-dragon species instead. But Lu Fan knows sub-dragon beasts are just mutated lizards, nowhere near the majestic power of a true real giant dragon today. Deep down, he knows the harsh truth about his predicament. Compared to real dragons, human beings are nothing more than fragile little ants. Seriously, how could a normal human ever tame a giant beast? With all his core skills locked tight, Lu Fan lets out a bitter chuckle, realizing he cannot even fulfill his basic class duties today. Thinking of his hard-working aunt who sacrificed everything selling buns to put him through school, he feels a sharp pang of disappointment. Lost in his gloomy thoughts, Lu Fan suddenly snaps back to reality and realizes he is standing right in front of his house. Taking a deep breath, he tries to shake off his overwhelming sadness today. Plastering on a fake cheerful smile, Lu Fan reaches out and slowly pushes the front door open to announce his arrival. Before he can even take a single step inside the living room, a blurry figure comes flying across the hallway like a lightning rocket, tackling him into a tight, warm, and aggressive surprise hug on the spot today. His vibrant young aunt, Hon Ku, excitedly squeezes him tight while beaming with absolute anticipation about his big day. She eagerly demands to know what awesome job he awakened during the grand ceremony. Hesitating under her hopeful gaze, Lu Fan feels that familiar painful pang of disappointment rushing right back into his heart as he stands frozen today. Gentle as always, Aunt Hon softly reassures him that even if he got a basic job, she would actually feel far safer. Taking a deep breath to brace for impact, Lu Fan interrupts her and firmly tells his aunt that he actually awakened a combat class called Dragon Tamer, waiting for her face to fall in total disappointment today. Instead of pitying him, Hon Ku's entire face lights up with explosive, genuine joy upon hearing the news. She cheers wildly, telling him that possessing a legendary hidden profession already proves how remarkably strong he is. She promises to keep fully supporting his future college dreams no matter what happens next in his journey through life today. Overwhelmed by her unwavering faith, Lu Fan feels a heavy emotional lump forming in his throat. Noticing his lingering self-doubt, Aunt Hon immediately steps forward and pulls him into another warm hug to comfort him. She cheerfully commands him to stop sulking and directs him toward a massive, delicious home-cooked feast waiting on the table today. After finishing the huge dinner, Lu Fan retreats to his tiny bedroom and collapses directly onto his soft mattress. Staring silently at the blank ceiling, he feels extremely down and discouraged about his future. Thinking about his aunt's painful hand calluses, he clenches his fists tightly and curses his complete lack of a real dragon companion today. Just when his life seems completely hopeless, a loud electronic chime suddenly rings directly inside his brain. A bright neon system prompt pops up right before his eyes, congratulating Lu Fan on successfully unlocking his daily treasure map. To his absolute disbelief, the system grants him an insanely rare divine level map on his very first day today. Stunned by this incredible stroke of luck, Lu Fan remembers his ability is called the Super Treasure Map System. Curious about its core mechanics, he taps the glowing UI icon to read through the breakdown. The system outlines for distinct treasure map quality tiers: beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level, and finally the legendary divine rank today. The system interface quickly explains that 3 identical lower grade maps can be merged into a higher tier treasure map automatically. Furthermore, every single daily treasure location guarantees rewards strictly tailored to his specific class. As the system finishes its explanation, Lu Fan realizes this golden opportunity could finally bridge the massive gap between him and a dragon today. With a divine ranked map in hand, Lu Fan possesses a real chance to transform from the world's weakest joke into an unstoppable god. Without wasting another second, he eagerly taps the divine map icon to reveal its contents. An expansive regional holographic map unfolds, pinpointing the grand treasure inside the dangerous wilderness of Mount Shabasin today. Realizing the destination isn't too far from Jonghoi City, Lu Fan calculates that taking the late-night bus will get him there before dawn. With zero hesitation, he hits the accept button on the system's screen. Knowing this risky solo expedition could completely rewrite his tragic destiny, he gets ready for an intense midnight journey tonight. Packing his gear quietly in the dead of night, Lu Fan decides to head out immediately at midnight while his aunt sleeps peacefully. Early the next morning, Aunt Hon stretches as she walks into the bright kitchen. Flicking on the light, she notices an empty bedroom and spots a carefully handwritten note left sitting on the table today. Reading his words carefully, she learns that Lu Fan left early to chase his one true shot at mastering his Dragon Tamer class. Meanwhile, a dusty suburban bus navigates through steep mountain roads toward the wilderness. Reading his promise to return safely, Aunt Hon smiles softly, praying that her stubborn nephew finds whatever he is looking for today. Riding smoothly inside the mountain bus, Lu Fan stares out the window, completely unaware that several shady thugs are tracking his movements from behind. His mind remains hyper-focused on reaching Mount Shabasin to change his life forever. The bus rattles across rough terrain until it finally reaches its final stop at the edge of the remote mountain range today. Stepping off the bus onto the dusty trail, Lu Fan looks out over the vast barren wasteland stretching before him. Determined to find the divine treasure, he takes a deep breath and steps forward into the wilderness. Suddenly, a suspicious passenger roughly bumps into his heavy backpack from behind, cutting his dramatic thoughts short in an instant today. Spinning around instantly, Lu Fan finds himself face to face with a muscular brute and a petite girl eyeing him like fresh prey. Grip tightening on his weapon, Lu Fan tenses his muscle, preparing for immediate action. Before he can strike, a heavy, weathered hand suddenly clamps onto his shoulder from behind, causing him to freeze right on the spot today. Looking back, Lu Fan sees a shady old man with an eye patch smirking maliciously at him. The old bandit offers a sinister invitation to join their crew, but Lu Fan forcefully shrugs off his greasy hand. Spotting their hidden weapons, Lu Fan instantly recognizes these suspicious creeps as ruthless wilderness looters hunting for easy targets in the dark today. The cheeky girl menacingly flashes a sharp knife, suggesting he rethink his choice, while the eye patch leader chuckles quietly, warning that roaming the wilderness alone at night is pure suicide. They assume this lonely kid will be a total piece of cake to rob and scavenge, completely unaware that he is analyzing their every movement with cold precision today. Not wanting unnecessary trouble, Lu Fan decides to play it smart and bluffs, claiming he is actually a summoner who can easily spawn powerful elemental creatures if things get rough. His confident response catches the shady looters completely off guard, making them pause as they re-evaluate whether attacking this mysterious solitary kid is truly worth the risk today.